something which is called humiliation. That is something which is called disgrace. That is something where you can't just hide your face because this game, Manchester United losing against the likes of Crystal Palace. Oh my God, a total of 17 shots of Ruben Amorim's men are trending it back. Ruben Amorim, I mean, his Sporting CP is in the Champions League, and in this game against Crystal Palace, I mean, to talk about this, John Brooks, the referee on pitch at Old Trafford, Manchester United has been losing this in this season 6 times. I mean, it is the sixth time in the Premier League Manchester United has lost at Old Trafford. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Manchester United with new managers coming on and ongoing and those sacking happening time and again. But Manchester United this season has lost 11 games. Out of those, it is those 6 times where United has got those defeats at Old Trafford. This is not acceptable because in the Premier League table, just have a look at it. I mean, out of all the games which has been played, this Premier League is looking so disastrous. I mean, just look at the goals. I mean, the loss which the teams has suffered. It is Brentford with those 11 losses, and it is Manchester United with those 11 losses. I mean, out of those 11 losses for United, 6 loss at Old Trafford. That is a big time. And after that, it is Tottenham, Spurs, Postecoglou's men, 13 defeats. I can't digest that. Deep into my stomach, there is some sort of pain, there is some sort of agony. So many losses, you can't afford to be in the race for the Premier League. You can't afford to be on the race of the Premier League because you just look at this game where United lost to Crystal Palace and the shots which were taken out of it. It is 17 shots. Out of those 2 on target, and players like Garnacho, just look at this, what the things were happening. I mean, it is just a 2-0 defeat, but it would have been more than that. At Old Trafford, it would definitely have been more than that because Garnacho, 1, Dalot, 2, Menu, 7th minute, so many scoring opportunities. Martinez, Dalot again, Garnacho again, Dalot, and Garnacho has wasted so many chances. Maguire again. It is the likes of, I mean, in the first half, this is what was happening. Martinez again got that, but it is a left footer miss. Fernandez, Mazzaroi, Ugarte. Oh my God, whole of the Manchester United players. Ahmad was there, some expectations on the 73rd minute out of the box, but nowhere near to the post, which is happening. Bruno Fernandez again on the 92nd minute. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this, guys. Manchester United, if they are going to play like this, I mean, Sporting CP manager Ruben Amorim, so much of critics from his end is going to come tomorrow morning. But welcome to FC RAMSAY, guys. We are having the watch along of the epic derby clash, Arsenal against the likes of Manchester United, and the race for the second spot is on between these. And also there is upcoming the game between the Milano derby, AC Milan, Sergio Conceição against Inter Milan, the likes of Simone Inzaghi. But first, let's have a look of what is happening against in the Emirates. It is the Arsenal who are hosting the Citizens. I mean, in this, Arsenal are at 47 spots. City, with those sluggish months in the past 7 games, City has acquired those 5 wins. I mean, Pep Guardiola's men are looking back into that track. And in the previous leg, it was John Stones who just led Arsenal to those 10 men down. And in the late stoppage time, he just managed to get that because in the previous leg it was a draw against Arsenal. It was Arsenal's Mikel Arteta's team down to 10 men. So much of crisis was there for in between Arsenal and City. And prior to that game in the Premier League, also that was a draw. But in 2023, Mikel Arteta got that win against City. In the Community Shield, it was up to the penalties, and in the Premier League, it was Manchester City winning that on the sixth time if we are looking back on the past 6 games. But a total of City winning it 21, and Arsenal has got those 10 wins and 9 draws. To be much precise in this, if we just have a look of the lineups for both the teams, it is Manchester City, Guardiola's man with Haaland, Manouche, the new signing, playing his second game in his debut. It was Manchester City, getting those big chances from Marmoush, but Marmoush couldn't just capitalize it. It is Savino, the signing of this season, is on the right wings. Foden is there, Bernardo Silva and Kovacic is there. Nunes on the right backs. Manchester City has got Kyle Walker to AC Milan. It is Stones. Now Guardiola is doing what which we were asking Guardiola to do for the most of the times. Now he has picked up Stones on the center backs at least. For the past 2 seasons, Stones hasn't been that regular. He has been seen coming on to the first lineup and missing those, but he is that elite center back who will create those differences. Akanji on the center backs and Guardiola. But Mikel Arteta over here has picked Trossard in the first lineup in the previous leg. In September, which the game happened between Arsenal and City, it was the same lineup. Arsenal, not having Bukayo Saka, has opted for Martinelli and the unorthodox Havertz as the forward is there, the number 29 jersey. Thomas Partey, Rice, and Odegaard is there in the previous leg. Odegaard was missing due to his injuries, and it was the likes of Partey staying on the right backs, but Timber and Luis Kelly on the sweeper back positions. Gabriel and Saliba, their elite centre backs, are staying as they were there in the previous game as well. But Arsenal were facing those crises of their men getting those injuries in the previous leg. But in this game, the injuries and the talking points which we have is the likes of injured players from both the teams. Arsenal, just look at the injuries of both the teams. Oscar Bob, Northern Ake, Ruben Diaz, and Rodri, as well as Jeremy Doku, the injured players for Guardiola's men. Guardiola's injury crisis is looking a bit shortening down, and some of his players are making those comebacks after those injuries. But Arteta, Tomiyasu, long time injury, Saka, not in this leg at least. Gabriel Jesus is just out for the season, and Ben White is also injured. But Ben White, that option could have been good capitalizing for him. How is that going to happen? Because Ethan Neveneri, that man from Arsenal, it is the likes of Odegaard who has been praising him. But in these substitutions, Neto, Tennis, Zinchenko is in the squad. Calafiori, Jorginho, Mikel Merino, and Raheem Sterling, that loony player in the squad, will be seen in this leg. Expectations are there that if Arteta are going to get some clinical finishings out of it, definitely they are going to get the win out of here. But is that going to be the aspect to watch? Because Kusanov, that debut man who made his transfer this season to City, is not in the first lineup. Kusanov has been given those breaks because in his first debut, it was looking like a massacre. Vito Reese, Gundogan not in the first lineup. McAtee, De Bruyne also not picked in the first lineup. Really, Ricolis and Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is just out of the squad for a long time. And how are we going to see Jack Grealish back in the squad? This is the lineup which Arsenal and Manchester City are going to face. There is also the like of the options. You can give your vote on the poll section, which has been just pinned on the chat section. Is it going to be the win for the AC Milan epic win? It is the likes of Inter who are going to get those wins. Men citizens are going to get this, or it is the Arsenal Gunners who are going to get it big, because it is the big derby clash, the England derby as well as the Milano derby, which is happening live And yes, all those typical links, get our social media links. You can have those links of watching it. The comfort which you can't afford is definitely there on the aspect as well. But apart from this, the game is going to begin. There is still 7 minutes. We will just try to have a look of the lineup between Milan and the likes of Inter as well. I mean, to talk of AC Milan, they have brought in Kyle Walker into the first lineup. Oh my God, this Milan derby clash. AC Milan is having the likes of Kyle Walker into the squad on his first debut game, which is going to be played. AC Milan with the likes of Tomori and Pavlovic on the centre backs. I mean, Hernandez and two of those lethal super backs are there. Reinders, Benancev and Musa, as well as Leo, Tammy Abraham, and Pulisic in the squad for Milan. But Milan hasn't got the likes of their striker. I mean, we will just talk about it a bit later. But Inter Milan, to talk about it, it is Thuram, their man, who has got those big numbers counting. I mean, of total 13 goals, which he has scored for Inter this season. Martinez is also there. Barella, Calhanoglu, Mkhitaryan, Dimarco, and Dumfries are there on those right midfields as well as the left midfields. Bastoni, Divic, Pavard has been picked, and Jan Sommer, their goalkeeper, who is looking so elite. But the injuries, which is concerning from both the teams, it is the Gennaro, the only man from Inter. I mean, Inter, to talk about their gameplay, they have got so much off-field formation happening most of the times, as well as the different positional aspects which Simone Inzaghi gives to his team. Injuries are not much that concerning for Inter Milan this season, as well as the previous 3 seasons where Simone Inzaghi has been present. But for the likes of AC Milan, Emerson Royal, the man who will be going to get those transfers or not, but he is injured. Loftus-Cheek is injured. It is Fofana who is on a suspension, and Florenzi is the man. But the likes of Chukwueze, Luka Jovic, and Nuka Okafor, these men can be the lethal substitutes, as well as Jimenez. But apart from that, it is Calabria who has made those exist from the team. And from the likes of Inter, Arnautovic and Mehdi Taremi hasn't been picked in the first lineup for Simone Inzaghi in this squad. Whereas Fratesi, Agosto, Jan Bisek, Acerbi, and the likes of Darmian are also not there in the first lineups. So that is all about the derby clash between AC Milan and Inter Milan. And yes, we will be having the watch of Arsenal and Manchester City sharp 22:00 hours Indian Standard Time, and just 30 minutes past to it, it will be the likes of the Rossoneri's against the Blues. I mean, the Inter Milan. That is the different aspect. We will be having a watch of it. But who is going to get those places? Because in the English derby, it is that second spot which Manchester City will try to just narrow down the points difference against Arsenal. Arsenal are at the 47 points on the second spot. Manchester City 41 points in the third spot. But the likes of Milan and Inter Milan, oh my God. Inter and Milan are having a huge difference. Inter, second spot with the likes of, Napoli under Conte are at the first spot with 53 points, but Inter with this win can crawl up to the first spot because just one game in hand and 3 points behind Napoli. But the likes of Milan with their new manager Sergio Conceição, it is at the 8th spot, 34 points. 16 points behind Inter, but Milan has got those Super Coppa d'Italia. That was the epic clash. And onto the head-to-head performances, Milan with those 14 wins. If we talk about those previous 40 meetings, Inter Milan has got those 20 wins, 6 more wins than Milan. Inter are on the edge. What are your predictions? Do tell us on the chat section. What is that going to happen? Or it is the friends who have become foes, Manchester City against, Pep Guardiola against Arteta. What are your predictions? Do tell us on the chat section. And the chat has been pinned. I mean, that voting section has been pinned on the chat section as well. Many big clashes happening this weekend. Real Madrid getting those defeats. I mean, in the Champions League draws, we had those Pep Guardiola moments. In this, it is Pep Guardiola this month with those hectic fixtures. Manchester City this February month, the Valentine's month for Manchester City. It is Arsenal. The next is the FA Cup against Orient. Then next comes Real Madrid, Newcastle. It is again the second leg, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Tottenham. Oh my God. Mikel Arteta, I mean Pep Guardiola against Mikel Arteta. It is just the first start of those epic clashes which is going to happen. It is just the first epic clashes which is definitely going to happen. But the match is going to just begin in 1 minute of the time. And what is that going to happen, boys? Do tell us your predictions. Are the men in light blues, Manchester City, Guardiola going to get their first win of this Valentine February, where they are having so many epic clashes, or it is Mikel Arteta just confirming their second spot high in the table with a win against City? Because in the previous leg, Arteta's men down to 10 men managed to get a draw. And John Stones was the player from Manchester City getting those epic wins. And on the other hand, in the Serie A, Milan getting those win against Inter in the Super Cup. In the previous leg, Milan also won. What are your predictions? Do tell us in the voting section. AC Milan, the Rossoneri's, the likes of Inter Milan, or is it the likes of Pep Guardiola, or is it the likes of Mikel Arteta? What is that going to happen? The man on referee, Peter Banks, just blowing the whistle for the game to begin. And at any time, we are going to witness a big clash happening. This is a big clash ongoing on. Peter Banks, the referee on pitch, has blown the whistle. And the game has just begun. What a long ball that is. That is a long ball on. That is a long ball on. Oh my gosh. But the flags have been raised. The flags have been raised. That is a throw which Arsenal are going to take. Arsenal are just netting into the box. Havertz with that shot, left footer, unorthodox striker. But Ortega has his safe hands onto the ball. Ortega has his hands safe. City are making those counters. Haaland. Oh my God, the game has begun. The heat has cropped up. Both the teams are trying for those counters time and again. It was for Haaland, it was for Havertz. Just in 1 minute of the time, both the teams are getting those chances, and they will not just leave any space for the opponents to squeeze in. Guardiola back to John Stones. Stones back passes to Ortega. Look at it. City are taking those men count high up on their attacking aspects. City wants Arsenal. Oh my God, it is. Havertz passes to Odegaard. Odegaard has scored 1 minute 47 seconds. Oh my God, citizens have conceded at the Emirates, and in just 1 minute 47 seconds, Havertz got a left footer shot in just 1 minute, and it was the likes of citizens going to get those high aggressive movements on their attacks, just got outnumbered by the press of Arsenal. That is what Mikel Arteta was looking. Just look at it. It was Ortega who passed to Akanji. Akanji did a bad pass. Oh my God. Akanji just nailed it. Bad. Stones pass that to Akanji. Akanji could have the control of the ball, and that missed pass. Havertz got that opportunity, but he insisted of passing it rather than shooting to the post to Odegaard, and Odegaard nets it so clearly. Arsenal has got that spot. It is those missed passes from Akanji and John Stones which has created. I mean, the two centre backs, John Stones and Akanji, with this gameplay has been showing that they are not looking regular with the tactical approach which Guardiola is persisting with this. This tactical approach, it is not persisting because John Stones and Akanji making those passes on the centre backs where much of the citizens were high on those attacking aspects, were not deep down on their defense. This has what allowed Manchester City to concede in just 1 minute 47 seconds of the game. Citizens have got it bad. Citizens have got this bad. Misery is incoming. Or it is those comebacks for Pep Guardiola's man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sam Raya. He has got Saliba. Saliba has got Partey staying on those deep defensive midfields. Now look at that. Citizens are not passing it. Now the another aspect is happening. Citizens are not passing it. They are giving those passes on the centre backs. Or they are dropping down. Gabriel, Partey just passes it to Luis Kelly. Odegaard is deep down on the defense. He is trying to be a bit creative, but not losing the position. Saliba, Partey again. Partey is playing those deep down defensive midfields. Partey is not going to move high up. It is to Kelly. Trossard again on the left wings. Trossard is being tackled by Nunes as well as Silva, but the ball is off for a throw. In the favor of these citizens, it is Nunes. Gets that throw to Silva. Silva does that job good. He just clears the ball, not into those defensive passes, because Guardiola's men are not going to get those centre back. Oh my God, Odegaard again. It is the likes of. That is the second goal Martinelli has scored. Holy Christ, can you believe this? Martinelli has scored. My God, the flags are raised. The flags are raised. The flags are raised. Yes, Martinelli was bit offside into it, but that was clinical finishing from him against Ortega. And the centre-back pairings of John Stones and Akanji is time and again doing those miseries for Guardiola's men. And in just 5 minutes, it could have been that second goal, which citizens would have got it back. Look at that. Stones and Guardiola are staying so close. That is the difference which is happening. It should have been Akanji staying close to Guardiola, because Guardiola is that man who tries to make those offensive aspects. But it is John Stones who is staying deep down on those defense. That is not happening. That is not happening. Guardiola's men are losing it tactically. Guardiola's men are losing it tactically. Bernardo Silva trying to get those creative playmakings deep on the midfield. Stones passes that to Guardiola. Savino tracking back passes to Kovacic. Look at that. Look at that space. Arsenal are dropping deep on their own defensive half. Arsenal are playing more tactical in this 7th minute of the gameplay, which is having the watch along. Arsenal are going tactical. Martinelli giving those passes, yes. Guardiola passes that. I mean, Guardiola, the likes of Sevino, but where is the playmaking of Foden? Look at that from Haaland. He is staying high up. Marmoush staying high up. Get those crosses, boy. Get those crosses. Kanji to Foden. Foden is getting creative. Arsenal are deep down in their defensive aspect. They are not allowing any passes to happen, whereas Guardiola's men are not trying to change the wings. Rather, they are trying to make those passes on their own half. The short passes, Guardiola's men now are trying to get some build up into it. John Stones being pressed by Odegaard. Odegaard is asking for company. No company for Odegaard in those press. No company for Odegaard. Odegaard is guiding those playmaking. It is a wide pass. It is for Nunes on the right wings. Nunes gets up, cut in. Luis Kelly not that efficient. Luis Kelly against the likes of Savino and Nunes. And it is the likes of Timber against Foden and Guardiola. That will be a huge watch. Look at that. I mean, Havertz would have just taken a shot out of it. But no. Haaland just spits on the pitch with that goal. Haaland just has a spit on the pitch after that goal. My God. Miseries. Guardiola's men suffering from miseries, and it is in the Premier League this Valentine month, the month of February. The heat is just getting to be ignited for Guardiola's men. Big matches upcoming this month for them. I mean, 9 big matches for City. It is just the beginning, or it is just, I mean, is it the beginning of a huge month for with those wins, or it is the likes of those crash down for the citizens? But this game at the Emirates, Gunners are doing it good. Gunners are doing it good. I mean, tactically talking about this game, Gunners are looking superior to those of the citizens. Gunners are looking that superior against the likes of the citizens on the pitch. Cast your vote, guys. Cast your vote. Who is that going to win? Is it the likes of citizens, or is it the likes of Milan, or is it the likes of Inter, or the likes of Arteta? Who is that going to get those wins? Akanji, hope he doesn't make any kind of mispasses. John Stones. And Stones passes that to Marmoush, but Marmoush is that player in the Bundesliga, if we have a watch of it. Marmoush is that player who tries to keep, I mean, he loves to chase the ball, whereas Guardiola's man just tries to get those positions. Why has Guardiola picked up Marmoush? I definitely don't understand that aspect. Guardiola's picking up of Marmoush this season. I mean, no way I can understand that why he has picked him up. Marmoush has that mentality where he loves to chase the ball, where he loves to run behind the ball. But in this, Marmoush is playing those deep down behind Haaland. That is one odd man out in the Men in Blue at Emirates. It is one odd man out in the whole squad for the citizens. Positioning of Manoush, look at it. He and Haaland both are staying bit diagonal to each other, but that is being creating those spaces where Foden or Silva are trying to cut in. That is for the midfield aspects which Guardiola's men are trying to get. Akanji passes that to Nunes. The position building up for the citizens, and they are gaining those momentum. But can this build up yield? Man, look at Marmoush again, challenged by Thomas Partey. Marmoush is not that man who will be having those dribblings or that ball stick to his feet. He is that man who will be just looking to chase the ball. To expect Marmoush to get those creativity, it will be a different character which Guardiola has to get embedded in him to get those results because of his basic instinct which he has played at the Bundesliga. He loves to chase, he loves to run behind the ball. Odegaard mispass, Foden gets it, and the referee has blown the whistle. Is the referee, Peter Banks, is he going to make those vital decisions? That will also be a big aspect to watch. Peter Banks has got many things to do in this game as well. Whether a penalty is being given or not to the citizens, that will also be the another aspect to watch for. Peter Banks having a word with Timber. Marmoush, the referee is saying something to him. That tackle to Marmoush from Partey, referee must be having some sort of word with him. Saliba, Gabriel, back to Raya. Samuel Raya is not being pressed good enough. Samuel Raya is not being pressed good enough. Partey passes to Odegaard. Citizens are not looking pressing. Whereas the width of the pitch is now shrinking time and again by the citizens. And it is the likes of Martinelli, Havertz, as well as Trossard. Trossard is there on a free space. Odegaard will make those passes. Yes, Odegaard has missed that pass to Trossard. Trossard on the left wings, getting something creative out of it. Oh my God, look at those dribblings from Trossard. He is just manhandling Nunes as well as Silva. My God, Trossard is getting those creative moments. A ball being lofted into the box, the center of the box for Havertz. My God. Arsenal are showing their true spirit in this game. Trossard, look at those dribbles. My God, that was huge. Nunes, he is being played on the right backs, but time and again, he is being exploited by the other teams as well. It happens against Nunes most of the times. It is Guardiola who is expecting a lot from Nunes on the pitch. Correctly tackles that to Martinelli, Odegaard, but Guardiola wins it. Marmoush. What was that pass from Marmoush? What was that pass from Omar Marmoush? The comparison between Mo Salah and the likes of Marmoush in the Premier League, is that going to be the watch for the next season as well? Are the Egyptians going to rule the Premier League this season? Mo Salah being ruling, he is that delicious Egyptian king at the Anfield, and now can Marmoush overtake those? That will be the another aspect. But the positioning of Marmoush is quite different from the likes of Mo. Marmoush has got the position, passes to Foden. That is a late pass. That build-up was just blocked. Havertz already has got an assist. Outside the box, passes to Timber, Partey changing the flanks. He has got Skelly, Rice, Trossard. Trossard passes that for Skelly. No, not happening. From the left part of the pitch from Arsenal, Rice and Trossard are doing it good, but Skelly is not getting those creative. Will be that moment when Luis Skelly be scoring a goal against Citizens or not? Oh my God. Ortega, goal kick, taken smooth. Going for Marmoush. Ortega is time and again going for Marmoush. Bernardo Silva speeding up. Arsenal are getting Manchester City outnumbered in every part of the pitch. Marmoush taking that first shot. Nowhere near the post. Marmoush takes that first shot. It was against Samuel Roya. But look at that right footer. Oh my god, there was no curl in it. And that was some shot which you can't just explain. What was that attempt from Marmoush? Marmoush is still having the instinct of Bundesliga to be played, where he is going for those long range shots to be taken, those sniper moments to be felt. But in the Premier League, this game, Guardiola's men need those short passes which he has to get embedded in him. Guardiola, Kovacic on the deep down defensive mids. Is he going to lose against Odegaard? No. Kovacic is being pressed and being man marked by Odegaard, and Odegaard has found that black hole in the pitch with the likes of Kovacic. Odegaard is on those press moments. Look at it. It is either Havertz or it is Odegaard who are man marking Kovacic and not allowing those centre back passes to be happening to their defensive midfields. Arsenal are playing this bit tactical, guys. Arsenal are playing this tactical. John Stones passes that Savino, but that was some overpowered shot. 18 minutes, 47 seconds to be precise, 19 minutes on the pitch. Just that first goal which Arsenal has created with those press, it is Arsenal not getting those creativity and the rest minutes of the gameplay, whereas the possession is much by Guardiola's men, but they are also not getting those clinical passings happening. I mean, it is the two odd aspects of this game. Arsenal are not getting those creative, but somehow or the other, they are getting these citizens outnumbered on the pitch. The Gunners are getting the citizens outnumbered on the pitch. Guardiola clearance 2, Savino, Kovacic. Kovacic is being passed by Havertz and Odegaard time and again. Kovacic is that man which the Gunners are not giving those passes. Miguel Arteta's men would definitely want citizens to go from the wings, but from the midway of the pitch, they are not giving away those spaces. They are not giving away those spaces. Guardiola, Kovacic again. Look at that aspect from Odegaard. Odegaard is giving Martinelli those spaces on the flanks, whereas he is staying that man too close to Kovacic. I mean, those anchor positions which Kovacic would love to exploit in the game is not being allowed by the likes of Odegaard. Akanji, Stones, back to Akanji, Nunes. Nunes has got Foden, but he goes for back passing that to Stones. Stones goes for Nunes. Make that cross, boy. Make that cross. No, Nunes hasn't made those crosses, man. Back to Akanji. Akanji passes to Nunes again. Foden crosses it for Haaland, but that is a block. Saliba is that man who was man marking him good. Opportunity denied. Opportunity denied. Clinically, Arsenal are playing very tactically and very efficiently on the pitch. Odegaard pressing it high up. Stones. Silva dropping down. Savino back passes to Guardiola. Oh my God, look at that from Timber. But Guardiola, I mean, Guardiola's man has got those. Nunes crosses it. Silva taking that shot. No, denied by Timber. Timber and the likes of Saliba doing good on those right part of the centre backs. I mean, that is what was expecting from Nunes to happen. This happened, and Nunes has to bring those crosses in. Nunes has to bring those crosses in. Every time the creativity from Nunes has to be brought in. But the citizens at the Emirates have now got a corner. Can they get those hurdles? Haaland is up there. Saliba pressing it. It is that cross being taken. Haaland. Oh my God. Haaland had that opportunity. He was on the far post. What was that? The ball touched the far post, or it was Haaland missing it? What actually happened? Samuel Raya just avoided conceding that equalizer. That cross. Yes, Guardiola had a touch. Samuel Raya also got that deflection. Oh my God, that just hits the top post, top bar, and Haaland was so close to it, but no, Manouche has cut in, Manouche has made those moves. It was for Savino, and Savino goes to finish it, but no. Now these citizens are making those creative things happening. Man, that header from Guardiola, it was close. Raya got a touch to it, some sort of deflection. But Haaland, I mean, he just assumed that the ball is going to get inside the nets, but it hits the top post. Creativity happening. Guardiola has his four attacks consistently high up on the pitch. Savino crosses that for Haaland. Haaland is being now man-marked by Skelly. Defensively, both Arsenal and City are sticking to their four centre backs, staying so deep down on those counters and on those presses. It is the midfield as well as therefore it is definitely going to be a 4-1-1-4 game on the attacks, and it is going to be those 2-3-5 on the aspect from Guardiola's. What a derby clash happening. What a derby clash happening ongoing between these two. Oh my God. Citizens are playing their game, and this is the start of this month where they will definitely want to have some sort of relief moment with a run, with some equalizer, or with some win. But it is open for you guys to just give your vote on the chat section. What is going to happen in the Milano derby, or what is going to happen in this English derby? The weekend derby on the heat. On the other hand, AC Milan and Inter Milan just about to begin. 1 minute off, 4 minutes of time left. When Diaz, Akanji, Kovacic, back to Akanji. Akanji passes that to Ortega. Miss pass, that is Kovacic loses it again. What a miss that is from Havertz. Oh my God. Miseries. To talk about that man, Havertz. He misses it so beautifully at times. Just look at that. Havertz had John Stones and Odegaard to beat on the nets. Even he had the likes of Odegaard as well as Rice and Martinelli high up on those attacks. But this time he goes for those left footers. And just on the box, it was so wide off the nets. Nowhere near the woodwork even. Oh my God. Martinelli inside the box. Yes, he is dropping in deep. Header coming from Rice. Matheus Nunes gets the deflection from his headers. Havertz has just given away the opportunity of scoring that second goal. Otherwise, this first half, all the work from the Gunners would have just ended and dropping down their own defensive half and playing it so good. But Havertz missing it, he just couldn't hit that into the nets. How is Arteta going to get those expectations? It is those aerial skills which Arsenal have been known for in this season, and they have got that corner. It is Rice taking those corner with his right footer. Goal incoming. What a beautiful goal that was. Deflection. Odegaard trying to get those long range shots. Odegaard is down to the pitch. Saliba moving on, but Odegaard is down to the pitch. Odegaard is just down to the pitch. He has some sort of injuries on his back neck. Oh my god, it was Bernardo Silva getting those shoulder tackles, but it was fair enough. That tackle to Odegaard was fair enough, but Odegaard gets that form. Oh my god. Things are looking happening, and Arsenal have missed a big chance for scoring from the likes of Havertz. It is correct kick time and again with the likes of Akanji giving away those passes. And it is Havertz and Odegaard who are exploiting it. This is the story up to the 28 minutes of this game. Arsenal staying and their four centre backs consistently, Partey being those anchor midfield positions, staying it. Marmoush is not getting those press moments. That is not happening. The likes of Marmoush and Haaland, they are staying so close to the centre back lineup, whereas Partey, Odegaard, they are making those drop down movements, counting for the citizens getting outnumbered in the opposition half. It is Trossard running in onto the left wings. He has got the position. He goes for Odegaard. Odegaard is looking so little in those creative moments time and again. He is running in on those fine spots on the pitch. It is looking as if Odegaard has got the whole mapping of this game on his head, and his muscle memory is making those moves. Look at that positioning from Odegaard. I mean, watching this game, much to talk about that player, Odegaard. He is making those huge spaces as well as those moves to be got. Odegaard with the likes of Rice. Rice, on the other hand, is looking a bit defensive with Partey. That is what Mikel Arteta must have instructed for the first half to be commencing. Ortega Moreno makes that goal kick, but out of the lines. Oh my god. Ortega makes that goal kick, but it was just out of the pitch. What a shot that was from Ortega. Oh my god. I mean, do you guys think that Ortega is the right pick? Because Kusanov was that center back in the previous game. He just nailed it so badly. But in this, it is now Akanji getting those bad moments on the pitch, and the non-availability of Ruben Diaz and Rodri as well as Naranake. Guardiola has just got Vitor Reis and Kusanov to be seen on the pitch, and Mikel Arteta has a definite mapping of both of these players. Arteta knows Akanji as well as knows John Stones so good from his days at City. Stones, Silva, Rakic, both Silva and Foden are staying high up on the pitch. Marmoush got the position. He is speeding up. That is what I'm saying about Marmoush. He loves to run with the ball. He loves to chase the ball. But if you want any sort of creativity from Umar Marmoush to happen, no, that is not happening. Marmoush, Foden crosses it. A block that is from Gabriel, but he has been hit badly with that shot. Gabriel has been hit badly with that shot. He is down to the pitch. The number 47 for them getting those creative moments. And on the other hand, the game between AC Milan and Inter has also just begun. But from the continent, there is not those sufficient links which we can watch the likes of Inter and Milan to happen. Oh my God, a goal scoring header that was from Guardiola denied. It is Havertz speeding up. Havertz is speeding up against Kovacic, passes to Trossard. Arsenal looking for those fast counters, but interception from Foden just stops this counter. I mean, which we were talking is those links. I mean, the match links for AC Milan and Inter. I mean, it was the likes of and GXR, that shit website who has been given those rights. I mean, time and again, they just lose away those moments and they are not even streaming those. If you guys want to have those cheeky peeky links of AC Milan and Inter Milan, get our social media links. It is there to have a watch. Nunes getting those crosses denied. Nunes has been denied. But Rice and Party both are at times seen so deep down on their defensive aspects. But Rice is not getting those box to box moments. It is Odegaard who is covering up that part of the pitch. In the second half, this gameplay from Arteta's men will become a bit of disheartening. Up to the 90 minutes, can Arsenal survive the attacks from the citizens? Nunes against Trossard. This time, Nunes has won the battle, being physical against the likes of Trossard. I mean, that man on the screen, it is that new center back, the likes of Kusanov, seen sitting on the sidelines. I mean, he has that baby face. Is he going to make those moves? Bernardo Silva, Foden, Nunes on the wings. Against Kelly wins that tackle. Matheus Nunes is not looking that good. Matheus Nunes on the pitch, I mean, the likes of Guardiola, he is demanding much. Kelly again back passes that to Rice. Rice has got Gabriel. Whom is Gabriel going to make those? It is Odegaard, Trossard. No, he goes for Rice on the left wings. Odegaard is instructing, making those gesticulations for Gabriel to change the flanks. Yes, Gabriel has passed that to Saliba. Timber. Partey finds Odegaard. Odegaard is making those moves, and this time he finds Martinelli on the pitch. Oh my God! Martinelli has been tackled by Guardiola. Will that be a penalty inside the box? What is that going to happen? Peter Banks, the referee on the pitch, doesn't pay heed to those tackles, but Guardiola made that challenge against Martinelli. It was inside the box. What a rusty tackle that was. And the referee on the pitch, Peter Banks, he doesn't make those moves. He doesn't make those moves. Oh my God, Peter Banks doesn't care to make those moves. That is a bit disheartening. Rice, Trossard, Havertz, what the pass that is from Trossard. He knows, I mean, at the right pitch, Where is Trossard at all the times? Martinelli, Odegaard back passes to Partey, Saliba, as well as Gabriel staying on those defensive aspects. Saliba to Partey again, back to Saliba. Arsenal are looking, taking their time. They are looking, resting with the pitch, not getting those aggressive because they have already got that one goal. But look at the aspects of citizens time and again with Stones and Akanji. And look at that positioning from Kovacic. He is looking bit out of those good forms as well as those fresh legs. Kovacic is that man who is looking lack of energy and lack of stamina on the pitch. Ortega has got it, passes to Stones. Now Arsenal are pressing it. That is what the moment which happened in just 1 minute of the first half, where Odegaard and the likes of Havertz got those scoring opportunities. Ranji changes the flank, has got Guardiola. Yes, Guardiola collects it good. Back passes that to Marmoush. Marmoush to Kovacic. Is that going to happen? Will the south wind carry some momentum to the shot taken by the citizens to get those assists? Or it is all the way for the Gunners to carry on this first half because it is now 40 minutes on the watch. I mean, not a single shot being made by the citizens on the pitch. Not a single shot with the citizens. It is now for Havertz, but he is being outnumbered. It is Stones, Guardiola, Akanji. Now the men in red and white are seen to get those numbers counting, but it is late. Kovacic wins that. He is picking up. Marmoush, yes, he has passed that to Marmoush on the left wings. Haaland, Foden teasing in. Haaland getting those headers. And Haaland is a beast inside the box. But those runnings from Marmoush, I think Marmoush should be given those center forward runs to be made. Both Marmoush and Haaland, they love to chase the ball. Haaland will get physical at times, but Marmoush has to make those runs. It is those SS positions which Marmoush has to get clinical at times. For that, he has to make those passes counting, which is not happening. Citizens, to talk about them, I mean, the quality of the players which Guardiola wants to be played is not happening. I mean, to talk about this season as well as in the first half so far, what Guardiola is expecting from his men is not happening. And Guardiola must not be happy about this. Stones passes that to Savino. Guardiola back passes to Stones. That is the place where Havertz and Odegaard are taking those clinical aspects. Every moment, Havertz and Odegaard are exploiting those spaces on the forwards. Foden passes that. Guardiola goes for that cross. Oh my God, a shot that would have been from Bernardo Silva, but Silva misses it by few inches. Akanji has got Foden. Foden has got Silva. Akanji again. Foden tries to get some flank movement. Oh my Marmoush, no, the flags are raised. Oh my God. That was not offside, but the tackle which was being made, the referee has just blown the whistle at the right time. Look at that. I mean, that cross from Guardiola, it was lethal. Neither Haaland nor Manouche made any attempts into it. It was Silva who went for those far post movements and he missed it. Guardiola made one of the chances where shots can be attempted. That is the sole attempt which the citizens have got in the first half. It is now 43 minutes. On the watch of the first half, Raya has that position with the ball. Look at that playmaking. I mean, Raya is having those time. He is just getting those positions. He is using it. Now he passes that to Gabriel. But in terms of Manchester City, whenever Ortega is getting those positions, he is just passing it so fast and so cheaply to the likes of Stones and Akanji. But look at the aspects from Samuel Raya. Whenever he is getting those positions, he is getting the hold of the ball. And now he passes to Odegaard. Odegaard has a missed pass. Semino trying to chase in against Odegaard. Odegaard getting those clearances. No, he goes for Havertz. I mean, in this game, both Odegaard and Havertz are staying so close to each other. That is something which Arteta's men are proving it good. Haaland passes that, back pass, back heel, Foden, Silva, take that shot, no. Nunes going for those cross. Oh my God. Sevino makes that shot. It is the first shot on post being made, and Samuel Raya gets attached to it, but not that clinical, or it wasn't that powered shot. It is what Arteta would wanted to happen. It is what Arteta would wanted to happen. He is just not giving any those spaces in the midfield for the citizens. It is the opportunity where citizens are going for the likes of Sevino or Nunes to make those crosses happen. But the only shot which was taken by citizens in the 45 minutes of the gameplay in the first half, it was Sevino getting that shot against Samuel Raya. It is their first shot on the woodwork, but straight into the hands of Raya. Partey speeding up. He has got Rosard. Yes, Rice tries to change the flanks. Blocked by Guardiola. Savino, the odd man out. Back passes to Stones. Stones gets up. 360 turnaround of that. Passes to Savino. Haaland. I mean, tactically, citizens are not getting involved in the gameplay, which Guardiola must have asked them to do on the pitch. Tactically, in the first half, it is now 1 minute of added time for the first half. Can citizens get those comeback equalizers, or is it all the way for the Arteta's men to be on the edge in the first half? Akanji passes that to Marmoush. Marmoush is staying so deep down on the edge of the box, whereas he has to just get the Arsenal numbers outnumbered on the pitch. That is the end of the first half at the minutes, and Peter Banks, the referee on the pitch, has blown the whistle. But to talk about the refereeing on the pitch, I would definitely want to mention that aspect where it was Guardiola making those challenges against the likes of Savino on the pitch. I mean, the likes of Martinelli on the pitch. My mistake. It was inside the box, and Guardiola making those tackles to Martinelli. Neither of Arteta's men and no one on the pitch just went for those decisions to be taken, and neither Peter Banks, the referee on the pitch, just pays any heed to it. That was a bad tackle on the pitch, and that was definitely a very bad aspect of this game. It is not much expected, but that tackle from Guardiola onto the pitch, Against Martinelli, that was clearly a penalty which has to be given to the Arsenal. The Gunners definitely needed a penalty onto this. That is something which Mikel Arteta's men just couldn't even ask for. That is all about the first half. And on the other hand, Milan and Inter on the 14th minute of the gameplay, it is still no goals being scored, but both the teams are being tactical. It is just two shots on attempt by Milan. And starting from the first minute, if we talk about, it was Pulisic who got that outside the box, but it was a block shot. And on the 10th minute, Randers also tried to take a shot, but it was a block. These were the two shot attempts by Sergio Conceição's men, AC Milan against Inter at their home of Stadio Giuseppe Meazza. But on the other hand, Inter have got just one shot, 12th minute by Barella, and it was a save. That is what the whole lineup is talking about between AC Milan and the likes of Inter. This game is ongoing little, but we will be back onto the stream in just 1 minute. We will be taking a short break. And on this, we will be getting those analyzing moments, what has actually happened, where Guardiola and Arteta are fighting for that second spot. Havertz got that first shot, left footer. It was on the first minute. It was good. I mean, not that clinical. It was the likes of Ortega getting his hand safe onto the ball. Odegaard on the second minute, what a good assist from Havertz. If Havertz would have taken that shot, it would have been a miss, but he went for Odegaard, and those tactical miss passes on the centre backs from the citizens, which they have considered in the previous game in the Premier League as well. And in this Premier League game also, they considered it so cheaply. It is those miss passes not happening, not that good happening for them. Marmoush, a wide shot, thinking of it as a Bundesliga where it is going to get those wide angle shots to be taken. But this tiki taka of Guardiola is not going to yield Marmoush a long term stay at the Citizens. Whereas Guardiola on the 23rd minute, that was a save. Sevino takes that shot on the 24th minute. It was also a save. Havertz, I mean, that miss from Havertz, it is just a misery for Havertz to be called a striker, staying on those positions. I mean, it is only the likes of Odegaard, the pairing of Havertz and Odegaard, both are looking lethal, but it is the sole effort of Odegaard which is consistently pressing against the centre backs of the Citizens as well as the defensive midfields of Kovacic, who is struggling to get those momentum build-ups. But Havertz missing it, it was the big moment of the game. Otherwise, Arteta's men in the second half would have just sealed this game so efficiently, it would have been no worries. That 26 minutes miss from Havertz was a big crisis. On to the next, it is 28 minutes, Odegaard. That was also a block. Akanji, a header. It was a miss, but Haaland went for those top bar movements, I mean top post movements that got saved somehow. Sedino getting that shot, it was the first one which I liked it, but Sevino not getting that clinical. Kovacic gets that shot again on the 45th minute. That is all the story about this game which is happening. And on the lineup, do you guys think that there is any sort of changes which has to be made? I mean, from the aspects of Gabriel, Saliba, and Partey, these three are staying so defensive, and Rice at times moving to the left wings for those assists for Trossard. But Skelly has been doing his job so good, and Timber, on the other hand, is a bit struggling against Savino and Guardiola. But Kovacic is that man who is not assisting that because he is being man-marked by Odegaard very good. I mean, Kovacic in this game, If you talk about it is a decent performance, but Odegaard is that man on that part of the pitch who is getting overshadowed. I mean, the performance of Kovacic on the pitch. Whereas the likes of Silva, Foden, and Nunes from City on the right part of the pitch, Trossard is making those heroic moves, but not getting those clinical edges inside the box. He has been denied. But Akanji and Stones, this pass from Akanji was a horror on the pitch. On the other hand, if you talk about Milan and Inter, just have a watch of this. It is on the 19th minute. Barella has that shot, and the scoreline is still 0-0. Just have a watch of this, and I'll be just back in 1 minute taking a short break. Do stay tuned, guys. And yes, those of you who are watching it, there is a poll over here onto the chat section which has been pinned whether AC Milan are going to get those epic wins, Inter going to get those big times, Man citizens are going to get those points close to the second spot, or it is the Gunners who are making their second spot look comfortable 6 points behind Liverpool, just shortening that because now they are 9 points behind Liverpool. They have to get those wins. Do stay tuned to it, guys. I will just be back in 1 minute. I will just be back in 1 minute. Is that going to happen? Are these citizens going to get those clinical moves on the pitch? And we are back, guys. FC Ramsay is back. We are back on the streaming aspect. And to watch about this game, this is definitely not going so good for Guardiola's men on the pitch because time and again they are losing it. If we look at what happened in the game, I mean, it is the second half which is going to just begin, but no tactical changes being made. Neither Guardiola nor the likes of Mikel Arteta has made any changes. No changes for the second half as well. Here we are, straight. What is that which is going to happen? And on the other hand, AC Milan and Inter Milan still on the 30th minute of the gameplay is goalless, whereas both of them has got those two shots on target. But the streaming links for the continent has been bit cheeky peeky, and the websites which has been just given those permissions to get those live telecast, it is not happening. You can join our social media. The links are given in the video description as well as in the channel description where you can get those cheeky picky match links. This is the second half ongoing. Ortega passes that to Nunes. Nunes back to Akanji. Akanji has got a good hold of the ball, passes that to Foden. Foden goes for the likes of Nunes on the right wings. What is that which Nunes is going to create? Back passes that to Foden. Right kick. No changes being made. No changes being made. Are the Gunners going to get those wins out of it? Because it is the previous game where that was a draw. Arteta's men down to 10 men. And in the previous season as well, it was a draw and Arsenal winning it once. That is all in the past three meetings if you talk about these two. But no changes in the first half lineup which has been made. Kanji passes that to Kovacic. Kovacic has got Stones. Stones high up on the pitch. What is Sevino trying to create from the left wings? What is Sevino trying to create that from that part of the pitch? It is just 2 minutes into the second half, and neither of the teams are going any sort of creative in the playmaking. Neither of the players having on. It is to Foden. Foden passes that back. Man, why is there some sort of lag on the watch? Yes, now the stream is looking fine. Stones. Correct kick. Haaland inside the box. Make that shot count, boy. But no, he goes for Marmoush. Marmoush, will he make that shot count on it? It is not happening, guys. It is not happening. It is not happening. Citizens on their midfield, I mean, on the approach of the centre forwards, they are staying so close onto the box and they are just overlapping those spaces which are being created. They are overlapping those spaces which are being created. Yes, AC Milan Epic has been the vote which we have been counting, and AC Milan Epic is going to be the win out of this. That is what is the store of, because AC Milan, the Rossoneri's, have got those big wins. I mean, in the previous two clashes, it was in the Supercoppa Italia, the Rossoneri's getting those wins, and definitely it was in the previous leg, the game between Milan and Inter, it was the Rossoneri's getting those. But Sergio Conceição on the new managerial post, will he get those momentum as well? It is Foden who has blocked those blocks. He is speeding up. But over here in the English derby, it is Odegaard who is playing so perfect and he is doing those miseries. It was the challenge from Skelly and Odegaard, which Foden just couldn't make it count. I mean, look at that. Is it Marmoush going to take those free kicks? Damn. He is that player from the Bundesliga, from the likes of Stuttgart. He can make those, I mean, the likes of Frankfurt. That is a good block. Havertz does that defensive job good. That is a lofted ball inside the box. Is it going to be counted? No. Man, why there's a lag on the telecast? What is wrong happening here? I mean, let me just cut this and revamp it again. Yes, 52 minutes, 40 seconds on the watch. Trossard passes that. Samuel Royal, Gabriel, Trossard. Look at that. Samuel Royal with his defensive approach on the pitch as well as on his goalkeeping positions. He is getting it so good, as well as the likes of Partey, Saliba, Timber. They are playing those good moments on the pitch. It is that counter which Arsenal are trying to prepare. And every time they are getting the possession, they are making those counters, especially. I mean, they are getting those fluidity time and again. It is for Havertz. Martinelli not getting that touch so good into it, just loses away. Silva, Foden. I mean, if Dubane is not going to come on the pitch in the second half, Manchester City with this first lineup are not going to get any big chances to be happening. Change of the flanks. to Nunes on the right wings. Foden gets it. Marmoush crosses that. Haaland. Oh my God. Just 1 minute back into it, we were saying that in this lineup, citizens are not going to get those clinical finishings, but it is Omar Marmoush getting the first assist and a goal for that tall, huge giant Erling Haaland. And that header, it was perfect, nowhere near for Samuel Royer to get a touch to it. Manchester City has equalized. Damn, that was a cross. Just look at that replay. It was for Nunes. Nunes on the right wings to Foden. Foden gets a good cut in. Oh my God, Manouche. That move. No, it wasn't Marmoush. It was Sevilla making those assists. My mistake, guys. Damn, it wasn't Omar Marmoush. It was Sevilla getting those assists counting in his name. But this time, Saliba was not in the perfect position to stop Haaland for getting that goal. Oh my God. Erling Haaland has made it and he has got that goal. I think this is his first goal against the Gunners. To talk about this, I mean, yes, I think because Manchester City in the previous leg scoring it twice, it was Haaland and Stones. And apart from that, oh my God, that is another comeback which Arsenal has made. We were just moving on to the scores which Erling Haaland has scored. I mean, his second goal against Arsenal, but the Gunners have now made it back to back. Erling brought Haaland getting that goal, but it is Partey in just 2 minutes getting those counters. It was interception from Foden's cross. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that from Partey. That ball got a bit deflection into it. It was from the back of Stones, I guess. Yes. Stones just couldn't get a block to it. He was there to guard the first post, but Ortega was also leaning onto that first post and the ball got deflected onto the second post and Thomas Partey gets that finish. Miseries on the face of Erling brought Haaland again because in just 2 minutes his equalizer has been overshadowed by Thomas Partey. My God, this English derby, this is going one way with the Gunners because it was a comeback on the 55th minute by the citizens in just 2 minutes. The lead has been brought back again at the Emirates. Thomas Partey with that goal, it will be a huge one. John Stones getting those deflections. What is there in store for this English derby, guys? Arsenal have got the previous draw, and it was a win. I mean, one win, one draw. Inside the box, the citizens are cropping up. Gabriel is blocking it good. Gabriel is now seen blocking it good. Kanji, Nunes, Kovacic. Kovacic passes that to Foden. Foden getting those creative moments. But is that sufficient? On the other hand, Havertz making those runs against the likes of Akanji is not getting good enough. I mean, Akanji has got those good speed, but on the awareness on the pitch, Akanji will lose it up. That is what Arteta wants to happen. But with this score line, Arsenal will come close 6 points behind Liverpool. But Liverpool still have one game in hand. A lead of 9 points in the Premier League table. Liverpool at the top, Arsenal at the second. But the citizens, are they going for those wins? Because for that, it is Havertz again taking those left footers. Block. Akanji gets that block. Arsenal are now taking the lead of 2 goals with their third goal incoming. But time and again being denied by the rigid defense, which at times is looking fragile. I mean, the pairing of John Stones and Akanji, they both on the creative aspects at times are looking a bit fragile at times. Stones, Rakitic has got Guardiola. Guardiola goes for Marmoush, and moves on the flanks, passes to Kovacic. Kovacic for Stones again. Guardiola. I mean, the creativity from Marmoush has to be much seen. He tries to make those runs. Savino on the left wings, with a lot of dribbling passes that for Foden, but that was a bit overpowered shot. At the Emirates, the Gunners are just looking at the right spot at the right time, and that second goal, the deflection, which Partey got from Stones, I mean, that was a big move. Thomas Partey went for those first post. John Stones was trying to just block that first post, but look at that from Ortega. Ortega was also going for that first post. I mean, that is not the communication which you are having with a regular man to be played on the pitch. This says that John Stones hasn't been, I mean, on the regular lineup. It is Quelly inside the box making that shot count. Oh my God. Oh my God. Arsenal, their young player on the squad, Luis Kelly, has scored their third goal. And Luis Kelly, look at that, his celebration. He is imitating Erling Haaland with his celebration. He is imitating Erling Haaland with his celebration. Luis Kelly is that player, the number 49 in jersey with the men in red and white. He is just imitating Erling Haaland. The celebrations of Erling Haaland, he is just mimicking it because the Gunners have got their second goal. And this goal, this sole contribution from the likes of Skelly against Stones, whom he was getting those blocks. But Ortega is not that fine. Luis Kelly, that shot wasn't that clinical. It was just on the midway to the woodwork, and Luis Kelly nets it. Oh my God. Luis Kelly is imitating Erling Haaland with his celebrations. The topic of the town for tomorrow morning, it is Luis Kelly, the young man in the squad, the sweeper back playing in for the Gunners, has been imitating Erling Haaland with his celebrations. Oh my God. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. My eyes are now just getting those pain and agony coming up because Luis Kelly has scored that goal. It is the miseries of the centre backs of Guardiola as well as the likes of their goalkeeper Ortega, who has been performing so badly on the pitch. And this is the first goal for Luis Kelly in the Arsenal from the academy. He has been there at the Gunners and now at the senior squad, 18 games played. This is his first game, ninth match of the season. Luis Kelly gets his first goal and he imitates Erling Brot Haaland. Oh my God. Oh my God. Erling Brot Haaland has been mimicked by Luis Kelly on the pitch. You guys just can't make a believe to this. On the 62nd minute, Luis Kelly getting that second goal lead over the Citizens and mimicking Erling Haaland with these celebrations. That is what this game is all about, guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me put this off the screen. It will look good. Citizens, misery is incoming, boys. Misery is incoming for the Citizens. And they make it. Can these Citizens get those two goals equalizers? Because the win is now a far away talking point of this game. On the 65th minutes, now Citizens have to go for those two equalizers to be in the Premier League, because just have a look of this. I mean, in the table, if we talk about, to be precise, Citizens will still stay on the 41 points because of those goal defenses against Newcastle. Chelsea, my God, what game in hand they have tomorrow against, I think that is against the Wolves, if I'm not correct. But 40 points, 1 point behind, that will yield, I mean, Chelsea to get those crawling up the table. Manchester City with this defeat, and tomorrow it is the likes of Chelsea. If they get those wins, they will crawl up on the fourth spot, and the Citizens will not have those moments of playing Champions League in the next season as well. Oh my God. If they are going to get a loss against the Los Blancos, the two legs of the Champions League, and with this loss, and if Chelsea gets those comebacks, I mean, those wins, then in the next season, these Citizens will be debarred of the Champions League as well. Oh my God. Misery for Guardiola's man. Is this the beginning of the Valentine month, February, where the Citizens are getting those big clashes happening? It is a do or die situation. But still, the forwards, Haaland, as well as the likes of Manoj, are not pressing up high on the pitch. Not pressing up high on the pitch. Guardiola passes that. Kovacic has a fall. That is a tackle. But the referee on the pitch, Banks, Mr. Peter Banks, asks the gameplay to continue. It is Havertz making those shots. Martinelli, no, denied. Ortega finally denies a shot in the second half from the likes of Martinelli. Now it is for Trossard. Bernardo Silva taking his frustration off his boot, hitting Trossard on his leg. It is Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva taking his frustration on the pitch and has kicked Trossard on the left wings. What a way that is. What a way that is to just yield your frustration, boys. What a way that is to yield your frustration on the pitch. That is bad. I mean, in the first half, if you talk about, it was Guardiola who made those challenges against the likes of Martinelli inside the box, but the referee on the pitch, the likes of Mr. Peter Banks, he just didn't pay any heed to it. And in the second half, now it is the likes of Bernardo Silva getting on his nerves, just hitting Trossard, taking down his frustration on the pitch. Peter Banks, the referee on the pitch, is not doing his job good. I mean, apart from these two, the rest of the aspects he is looking is yielding bit clumsy. But these two decisions, Peter Banks should have taken some that. But neither of the gunners are just approaching Peter Banks to make some approach into it. Declan Rice from the corner positions taking those free kicks, but that was a deep down shot. Deflection from Kovacic. Kovacic is asking the referee Peter Banks, what is he asking Peter Banks to be made? It is Guardiola making those changes. McCarthy and De Bruyne scene coming on. It is finally Guardiola making De Bruyne appear in the squad. I mean, why was De Bruyne not picked up in the first squad? That is not happening. He is bringing in Manouche and Haaland together, but Manouche has still got plenty of time to play and prove his efforts to be seen on the pitch for the citizens. Instead, it is now the midfield presence, McAtee and De Bruyne both seen coming onto the pitch. What are those substitutions which Guardiola is going to make? What are those substitutions which Guardiola are going to make? And it is AC Milan scoring that first goal against Inter. Reinders has scored. Just look at this, guys. It is Reinders who has scored for Milan on the verge of the end of the first half. AC Milano epic against the Inter at the home of AC Milan. So AC Milan with this will get those back-to-back wins. Because talking about this, it was Milan getting that win against Inter in the Super Cup and in the Serie A as well. They got those wins. I mean, in the past three games, if you talk about, it is AC Milan getting those two wins, whereas Inter hasn't got those. That is all about the Inter Milan and AC Milan happening, the Milano derby. But here, Arsenal and Manchester City, Guardiola has made changes. It is McCarthy coming in, De Bruyne coming in, Marmoush now being dropped. It is Foden being dropped. But what was the need of Guardiola to make Umar Marmoush count in the first lineup? That is a biased managerial aspect, which I would talk about Guardiola on this. That is a bit biased aspect. I mean, Umar Marmoush might be the future of the club, but De Bruyne should have been the first starting lineup. I mean, in the first lineup, he should have been there. Arsenal again with that cross. Oh my God, look at that curl. Look at that curl. Deflections. Doku not there in the spot because of his injuries is also the concern. Whereas Grealish hasn't been in the pickups. Jack Grealish not in the pickups. Gundogan not in the pickups. And now it is McAtee and De Bruyne making those moves. I mean, Guardiola is making some decisions which at times is not looking good on the pitch. And John Stones, as well as the likes of Akanji today on the pitch, both have been doing a horror show, as well as contributing to that is Ortega Merino. Look at that. Erling Haaland just gives a push to Lewis Kelly, and Skelly, that young man in the pitch, Haaland gives that tackle to him. It was looking so bad. Erling brought Haaland. Can he get those equalizers? Because Alvarez was that man. He is not also seen. I mean, I don't find the exact reason Alvarez was just not given those playtime at City, and he opted to go for the Rojiblancos Atletico, whereas Guardiola picks up Marmoush in this winter transfer and he gets Marmoush in the starting lineup. I mean, these things from Guardiola at times, I really don't find it in any talking point about this. Savino passes to Guardiola. Citizens are looking to get some creativity with those short passes, but not happening, not happening. Citizens have been lacking in it. Stones, right kick, Guardiola, Savino. Who is Savino? There is. Man, look at that. Look at that. McAdee is there on that free space, but no one is giving those passes to him. Back pass to Akanji, correct kick. Counter happening again. Counters happening again. Martinelli is on the edge of the box. Havertz, will you take that shot? Oh my God. That is Kai Havertz. He just missed that on the 26 minutes in the first half. That was an open scoring opportunity. But this is what we talk about. This player, Kai Havertz, he is so much clinical at times. And on those empty spaces, he misses it big. But this time he scores it. Guardiola's man. Oh my God. Guardiola's men are now 3 goals down against the Arsenal, the Gunners at the Emirates. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that. Martinelli made that run. I mean, the defending aspects, John Stones and the likes of Ortega. I mean, every shot which you are going to take against Ortega, Ortega is not going to get any touch to it. That is what the end point it is. This English derby is going one-sided from the first minute. I mean, to be precise, it was in the first minute, 47 seconds. The Gunners scoring it, and now they have got it. It is also AC Milan who are 1 goal up against the Inter. Big wins for the Gunners. Mikel Arteta finally getting those big wins against his big daddy Guardiola. Is Arteta the new big daddy of the Premier League? Ortega trying to get some dribbles, passes to Akanji. Back to Ortega. De Bruyne going to find Haaland. That is what the sole thing which is happening. I mean, just look at after McAtee as well as the likes of De Bruyne has been brought into these substitutions. It is now Erling Haaland making those runs, whereas Marmoush, what was his involvement in the pitch? I mean, Guardiola losing Julian Alvarez and bringing in Marmoush is definitely not a good point. I mean, this is the transfer which happened this season. But apart from that, also, Guardiola, to talk about him, he gets big biased. He gets big biased. Arteta and Guardiola 4-1 up. First big, huge 3 goals victory for Arteta. Oh my God, big headlines. Arteta 4, Guardiola 1. 79 minutes on the watch, to be precise. 3 goals up, can the Gunners bring the 5th goal incoming? No way the citizens are going for those comebacks. If something disastrous is not going to happen, then no way these citizens are going for those 3 goals comeback the way they have played up to the 80th minutes. Unless and until there is some sort of natural calamity happening on the pitch. It is that 5th goal incoming. Havertz one-on-one against Stones, but Stones getting that deflection. But it is Guardiola getting those deflections at the cost of a corner. It is Gunners going to get another corner, is it? What is that decision which is going to come for it? Yes, that is a corner incoming. That is a corner incoming again. It is Odegaard going to take those left footer curlers from the right corners. Oh my God, misery is incoming more. Can we get 1 or 2 more goals, boys? Can we get 1 or 2 more goals? Odegaard gets that cross. So good to it, header. Saliba, oh my God, bicycle backflip. It was Gabriel trying to get those backflip shots. Miss Kelly finally getting those deflections. Raya, what a pass that was from Raya to Saliba, man. There were 3 City players chasing down for those counters. But Raya makes that pass straight for Saliba, man. Samuel Raya, he is looking like a Mysterio at times. Arsenal settling down with their position. After that corner being taken, it is Saliba, Gabriel. Look at that from Thomas Partey. He is again sticking back to his anchor midfield position. Thomas Partey on this pitch got a goal on his defensive aspect. He has been so good. On his anchor build-ups, he has been good. What more to expect from this player, Thomas Partey, doing a hell lot of a job. It is Arsenal again, cutting it into the box of the citizens. 82 minutes on the watch, and now the Arsenals are just looking to get more goals out of this. Partey getting those interceptions on the edge of the box. Odegaard crossing it. But they are enjoying this. They are enjoying this. The Gunners are enjoying this part of the game. The Gunners over here are enjoying this part of the game. The Gunners are really enjoying this part of the game. No comeback points to be taken. On the other hand, Milan derby between AC Milan and Inter Milan, it is still AC Milan 1 up against Inter. And whereas the likes of Manchester City, Etihad, oh my God, that is looking so bad. That is looking so bad. Can you just imagine it? That is looking so bad. I mean, can Arteta's men cause those upsets? Because if they get 1 more goal, then it will be Newcastle on the 3rd, 4th spot. Just look at this. If Arteta's men get 1 more goal out of it, the goal difference between the likes of Manchester City and Newcastle, it will be the same. I mean, Newcastle can Arteta's men get 2 more goals and get Newcastle up to the 4th spot. Will that be the option? Yes, these substitutions are being made. Mikel Merino coming onto the pitch. And it had never really much of the talk about him from Odegaard. Pre-match talks where Arteta and the likes of Odegaard were praising Navaneri much for his performances. Of course, that is. Citizens are looking collapsing, but if Arteta's men are going to get one or two more goals, then Citizens will drop more points because Newcastle are just on the same point with one goal lead. One goal lead from the Citizens in the points table is what the difference between them and Newcastle in the Premier League table. Get one more goal, boys. Yes, Arsenal takes that corner very fast. Saliba inside the box. Man, look at Saliba is now cutting it inside the box. Saliba, that defensive centre back from the likes of Arteta, is making those moves. Citizens are nailing it big time in the history of the Premier League. This will be the big headline for tomorrow morning. But if Arsenal get one more goal, then it will be both Newcastle and City at the same point with same goal difference. It is just the one goal difference where Citizens are at the fourth spot to that of the fifth position of the Newcastle. Can Arteta's man bring Newcastle to the fourth spot is the watch. No expectations from the Citizens to get those comeback, but can Arteta's man get those two goals to get Newcastle to the fourth spot? Get two more goals and bring Newcastle to the fourth spot. Bring it, boys. Saliba, Partey, back to Saliba. Make one more goal at least, boys. 86 minutes. 86 minutes on the watch. Saliba, Gabriel. Back passes to Samuel Roya. And now Erling Haaland has lost most of his energies and is not just making those press. But after De Bruyne and McAtee were brought in, steady City are looking steady in their build-ups. But Guardiola's men have sensed already that if they are going for those high press, they are going to concede. They are going to concede because it is no way or the highway. Because first big win for Arteta, and he makes his master Guardiola lose in the Premier League with a 3-goal difference. That is a big win incoming. Partey goes for Martinelli on the wings. No, that was for Havertz. But talking about these substitutions, which Arteta has made, he has brought in Lavaneri and Merino. Trossard and Odegaard have been dropped down. In the previous game, in the previous leg also, Arteta was a bit clinical, but they were down to 10 men. That caused City to draw levels, but at their home. If Arteta were knocked down to 10 men in the previous leg, then it would be a bold statement to make that they would have got that win in that game also. What a cross that is! Oh my God, look at that cross. Look at that cross. Look at that cross. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is Calafiori into the squad. Calafiori making his move and Raheem Sterling. The signing of the Euros. Calafiori with his performance at Italy into the Gunners was down to injuries and now he will be seen. Arteta is reinforcements of more attacks. He is bringing in the likes of Sterling as well as Calafiori on this pitch. Both Calafiori and what a performance Luis Kelly had getting his first goal. Ovation for that little kid on the block. Luis Kelly getting those goals. That wasn't that clinical, but that mimic to Erling Haaland. Oh my God. Luis Kelly had the moment of this match, and he has proved it big. He has proved it big, guys. He has proved it big. Luis Kelly has proved it big. No denying the fact. No denying the fact. Luis Kelly has made his moment and mimicking Erling Haaland. That was something which wasn't expected. Just 3 minutes of added time for this English derby to end, and the coach and the apprentice. The decision has been made. 90 minutes are up in just 3 minutes. But can Arteta's men make those Newcastle count to the fourth spot with one more goal? Because City are at the fourth spot with same points to that of Newcastle, but just a goal difference of one has been that, whereas Chelsea still has a game to play, and with more goal difference will definitely call up to the fourth spot. A big collapse. Guardiola's men are going to get a big collapse. Just 3 minutes after this, we will switch on to the game between the Milan derby, AC Milan and Inter Milan. The second half is on way over to there. Sterling has got the ball. Whom is he going to pass? Calafiori into the squad. Can we get one more goal, boys? Can we get one more goal? Bring it up. Martinelli, Sterling. Red is the color. Red is the color for the epic clashes on the weekends. The English derby as well as the Milan derby. Red is the color, boys. Red is the color for the derby matches ongoing this weekend. Martinelli passes that. Gabriel, Declan Rice changes the wings. Can be seen a goal incoming. Oh my God! Arsenal has scored their fifth goal. Look at that. Nevenary, that kid. Kids scoring against the experienced citizen. What more can you expect? And it was Luis Kelly getting those goals, that young kid. And it is Ethan Nevenary, that man from the Arsenal Academy. Arsenal Academy is growing to its highest of the success in this game against Guardiola, and Guardiola is looking dumbstruck. He can't make those fall on the sidelines, which he used to do in the previous season. But in this game, all his expressions, all his face is just filled with agony and so much of pain to bear this season at the Emirates. Arsenal are 5 and Manchester City 1. Oh my God. And the young kid in the block, it is Ethan Nevenary. This man, 17 years of age, much of his pace to be seen both by Odegaard and Mikel Arteta. It is Manchester City. Have they dropped down to the fifth spot because Newcastle and Manchester City are at the same points, same goal difference. But citizens are at the top because of that win against Newcastle. That is what the difference is. That is what the difference is. I mean, the goal difference which Manchester City had against Newcastle, just have a precise look of it. Where is that? Manchester City against Newcastle. Where is that, boy? Yes, it was Manchester City and Newcastle. That was a draw, but it was an away game. That is the reason why Manchester City are at the spot which they are holding up. The spot which they are holding up. Just look at the table. Just look at the table over here. Oh my God, boys. Can you just believe it? Can you just believe it? Because this game has ended in miseries for Manchester City and the 5 goals. Odegaard, Partey, Luis Kenny, Daddy and Kate getting that goal is definitely so good. Havertz at last getting those finishings, but missing that first opportunity on those 26 minutes. What a massacre that was. Nevenary getting those substitutions, and this young kid getting those goals. 5 Arsenal, whereas Erling brought Haaland. 55th minute was that one goal, and Marmoush, those transfers from Guardiola just not getting those clinical. But in the Premier League, to talk about this, just have a watch of it. It is Manchester City at the fourth spot, but look at the points. They are 41. Newcastle at the fifth spot is also on 41, but the goal difference is also 13. And 7 losses for them, 5 draws for both of them, and 12 wins for both of them. Both Manchester City and Newcastle are at the same spot, but Citizens are at the fourth spot because in the first leg between Manchester City and Newcastle, Citizens traveled to Newcastle and that was a draw. That is the sole reason where Citizens are at the fourth spot. But on this sixth spot, it is Chelsea. One game in hand, they will come at 40 points. They are definitely going to, if get those wins, 43 will be the points which they will get and move up to the fourth spot. And Citizens, the next season, I mean, they have to play the Europa League. They will be out of the Champions League. Oh my God. These Citizens will be out of the Champions League as well. They have to play those Europa League, and in this season of the Champions League, they have to face Los Blancos for the 2 legs to happen. Miseries incoming for Guardiola's men. Miseries incoming for the Guardiola's men. But we will just switch to the game between Milan and the likes of Inter, the derby clash which is going on. The compilation, the compilation of all of this will come tomorrow morning, but as of now, we are watching the game in between AC Milan and Inter Milan. What is that which is going to yield? What is that which is going to yield? Look at that. That was a header from Dumfries. Oh my God. Dumfries just gets that header not converted. Milan are really doing good. They have got back-to-back 2 wins against Inter in the Super Cup, Supercoppa d'Italiana, as well as in the Serie A. The first leg meet-up between these two teams. AC Milan are looking so good. Let me just put this back onto this main panel. It looks good. AC Milan are looking so good. Milan are definitely going to get this. Let me just change the score line over here. Yes, it is the score line. Let me change this. Yes, it looks good. It is on the 61st minutes. AC Milan are one goal up. It will be back to back 3 wins for AC Milan to happen. It will be back to back 3 wins for the Rossoneri's to happen. My stream is just a delay of 2 minutes. It is, to be precise, on my watch, 58 minutes on the screen. Similarly, Inzaghi's man down by 1 goal. What is that going to happen at the home of Milan, Stadio Giuseppe Meazza? What is that going to happen? Back-to-back 2 wins for AC Milan in the Super Cup as well as in the Serie A. Now it is the third win which is incoming, and Sergio Conceição's man, the new manager this new year for AC Milan, is looking so good. But to talk about, it is only Jimenez that substitution has been made and Benanza was called off. But it is Kyle Walker as well on the pitch and Lucas Hernandez from the Rossoneri's. The only game of this came from Randers, the player from Netherlands, making those clinical moves. It is Pulisic going to take that corner. Pulisic takes it good with the curl. Oh my God. It was, man, Theo Hernandez was there, but why he just couldn't get a touch to it? Look at that curl from Pulisic. Oh my God. Conceição has his hands high up on his head because that corner from Pulisic was so clinical and it got such a curl to it. But finally denied. AC Milan denied of their second goal against Inter. For the defensive aspects, Sergio Conceição at FC Porto, he is known too good for those defensive aspects to count. He doesn't concede so cheaply and so easily. It is DiMarco going one-on-one against Mike Magnan, but Mike Magnan gets that touch to it so good, and that shot from DiMarco wasn't that good. What is that? A bad tackle that is from Dumfries. That is a bad tackle from Dumfries. He gets the yellow card, and Daniel Jiffy, the referee on the pitch, gives that yellow card for Dumfries. That is definitely the watch for. The first card of the game being showed, and Dumfries just getting his nerves wild up and makes that challenge to Randers. Look at it. He just holds the neck of Randers so bad. And that tackle from Kyle Walker, he went for his legs of DiMarco. Oh my God. The Milan derby is looking just hit it out. Inside the box, getting those moves. Jimenez is that man. He is making those moves look so good. Jimenez, the number 20 on the pitch, he is making those moves look so good. To talk about Alex Jimenez from Spain, 19 years of age, I mean, July 2024, he has been made those 9 appearances, 6 games he has played this season. And Jimenez is that attacking mindset, 19 years of age, doing his attack so good. It is now the substitutions. Simeone Inzaghi is going for those substitutions. It is Zelinski who has been brought in, Carlo Augusto, as well as Jan Pisek, centre back. Pavard has been just brought in for those substitutions. Calhanoglu from the midfields. It is Augusto coming in, as well as Bastoni dropping down. It is the likes of Zelensky coming in. Inter are enforcing those attacks into the pitch, bringing in the likes of Bisek, the centre back. Divic and Bisek will stay deep down on their defensive aspects, and bringing in Agosto as well as the likes of Zelensky. But Simeone Inzaghi's men are doing much for their fluidity in the formation. How is that going to end? But he is bringing in more attacking aspects into the pitch. The wing goes for Dumfries. Dumfries has got Barella. Barella has that pass for Dumfries, but it is against Theo. Man, that is a cheap goal. That is a cheap goal. Inter Milan has got that cheap goal. What a way that is. The ball was out of the pitch, and there is a brawl going on at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza, the home of AC Milan, and a fight ongoing between Lautaro Martinez, the referee on pitch, Daniel Chiffy, just having some word with it. But was that ball out of the pitch? Because this goal won't be counted. Dumfries against Theo Hernandez. Yes, the ball was out of the pitch. The ball was out of the pitch. That tackle to Theo Hernandez. No, I guess. No, the ball was not off the pitch. Theo Hernandez has made some mistake, I guess. Whether that goal is going to stay or not, some sort of check is going on by the referee on pitch. Daniel Shiffy, he is going to make those count. No, that goal has been denied. That goal from Inter Milan has been defined. There is a brawl going on to the pitch as well. Lautaro Martinez taking on his nerves. My God, Milan derby is looking much taking on the nerves. Milan derby is looking more taking on the nerves. I mean, look at that. They have got DeMarco on the pitch, and every time the passes which are being by Agosto, the game is looking bit lethal out of it. The game is looking bit lethal out of it. Inter are getting those fluidity, whereas Milan are getting those stable environment with their positions on the pitch. But that young man, Jimenez, is making his move. It is Lautaro Martinez raising high up on the pitch. Dumfries inside the box. Look at that. Bisek is that center back, but he was so high up on those attacking aspects. Man, this is what Simeone Inzaghi is known for. He has those fluidity counts so much. The versatility in the team is so much to it. Rafael Leo getting those tackles, but Theo Hernandez gets a touch to it. Will that be a call for a handball? Will that be a call for a handball? No, that isn't a handball. That is not a handball. Oh my God, the ball touches the first post. Magnan was nowhere near to get attached to it, but safe for the Rossoneri so far. That is safe for the Rossoneri so far. Oh my God. How is the difference which Mkhitaryan as well as Barella are going to create? Because Inter are looking for those slashing attacks time and again. Whereas to talk about Sergio Conceição, I mean, at FC Porto, he doesn't give those spaces much to just ease for the opponents to get a goal. On the defensive aspects, Conceição is a big, big win. And with that lead, AC Milan, it will be too difficult for Inter to get a goal. But they are getting those moves. They are getting those moves. Daniel Chiffy, the referee on the pitch, having some word because in this Milan derby, things are going so heated up, especially from the sides of Dumfries. DeMarco, with that corner being taken, interception. The Rosaries have got those blocks and interception so good. I mean, look at that. All the playmaking which DeMarco is making on the pitch, and he is being single-handedly tackled by Alex Jimenez. Jimenez is that player. He made those runs for the counters and he dropped down so good, blocking DeMarco for the left wing movements. Alex Jimenez, the player, look at that from AC Milan. He is making those wide wing movements so good on the pitch. I mean, with his speed, he went for those attacks and he dropped down so quickly against DeMarco, not giving him those spaces. Can the Rossoneri's get the second goal? Or the Azuris are going to get those comebacks? What is that going to happen? Give your votes on the poll which has been just pinned on the chat section. DeMarco passes that. A move that is from Agosto but being blocked. Rafael Leo on the wings, getting a cut in. Yes, it is Reinders again. Man, that is a foul inside the box. Reinders passed that to Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham was tackled bad inside the box, but no referee decision being taken. Reinders made that cross, but no, that was Bisek getting the touch to the ball first. So, denied. Tammy Abraham was late to receive that ball inside the box. Reinders, look at that. That shot was taken just in between the legs of Mkhitaryan. My God. My God. Both AC Milan and Inter are looking so good. A dribble that is Rafael Leo. Pulisic going for those shots, no being denied. And AC Milan are not giving those easy opportunities for Inter to go for those counters. On the defensive aspects, they have been doing it so good. Defensively, Sergio Conceição, I mean, whenever he is high up on the pitch, his men are high up on the pitch. He is that manager who doesn't yield. I mean, just lose away the position or those tackles in those counters much easily. He is much known for that. I mean, AC Milan in the Champions League, this will be a big moment for Sergio Conceição as well. It is Tomori and Pavlovic, the centre back. staying on there, 23 years of age. Stanija Pavlovic, 23 years of age. This man, if we talk about him, I mean, from Serbia, he has been at Milan this season, 18 games played, 1 goal, 11 matches from Salzburg, and much to be praised about him. But this Serbian centre back is now the pick of the squad from Sergio Conceição. Whereas Malik Thiaw hasn't been given those opportunities. Calabria making his moves. Terakino, Gadia are there. Luka Jovic, Okafor, and Chukwueze will be the players who will be seen making those substitutions. But is Sergio Conceição going for them, or he will stick to Rafael Leo, Abraham, and Pulisic? Inside the box, tackles are happening time and again, and the Rosemaries are creating those opportunities. But now it is Inter speeding up. That is a tackle, but no, the referee on the pitch, Daniel Chifi, says it is fair and asks for the game to continue. Rafael Leo passes that. Musa. Musa has been those pivotal midfields upon the departure of Benancer. It is Jimenez and Reinders, both of them who are staying on the flanks of the midfields. Look at that challenge from Theo Hernandez. It was so good. Look at that challenge from Theo Hernandez inside the box. So clinical. He gets the touch of the ball first. Man, that was something Thuram didn't expect to happen much. Pulisic and Abraham are physically not getting those advantages. Reinders one-on-one against Dumfries. Man, Pavlovic gets those deflection good. It is Tammy Abraham. He has got Pulisic. He gets a cut in. Holy God. Holy God. Goal scoring opportunity. Reinders again takes a shot, but straight for Jan Sommer. Jan Sommer takes that catch so good. Varela being tackled by Reinders. A war is going on in the Milan derby. There is a war going on, a big brawl happening. A big brawl happening. It was left for Mkhitaryan to take that shot far off from the box, but nobody spotted Dumfries because it was wide off the post. It was wide off the post. Guys, this man, I mean, this game of the Serie A is taking a brawl out of the pitch. Finally, Inter are going for more substitutions. Mkhitaryan, DiMarco moving on. Fetisi and Zalewski coming onto the pitch. A reinforcement coming in from Inter Milan. Simone Inzaghi is making those substitutions count. He has already got 5 substitutions. Bisek, Agosto, Zelinski, Fetisi, and Zalewski. And now it is Conceição making those movements. He has brought in Jimenez on the second half. Now it is Teresiano and Camarda coming onto the pitch. Man. Bonanza is out of the pitch. Tammy Abraham and Musa are out of the pitch. Conceição is bringing on those young boys on the squad. It is Teresiano. This man, 21 years of age at Milan from Hellas Verona. I mean, this Italian guy, he has something to be proved, as well as the likes of Camarda, the man from the AC Milan, I mean, Milano Juniors. He is into, oh my God, look at that shot being taken. And are going for those wide approaches outside the box. Man, that was a shot being taken but blocked and safe into the hands of Mike Magnan. Mike Man has been saving it so good. It is another substitution coming on. It is another substitution coming on to the pitch. It is, no, the substitutions are not coming on. It is finally made. The substitutions are now done, and 78 minutes on my watch. AC Milan going to get those 3 wins back to back. Huge one. And the first one from Concesio this new year, he has already got those Supercoppa d'Italia, and now it is the second leg against the Milan Inter. Oh my God. Daniel Chiffy, the referee on the pitch. Will there be any equalizer from Inter to come onto the pitch? Mike Magnan taking that goal kick. Goes good. But Rafa Leo, and he is not looking that good. In place of Tammy Abraham, Milan has got Kamada. Let's see what this guy Kamada is going to bring up the heat on the pitch. And the Inter, on the other hand, Inter, with those fluidity which they are having, Agosto and the likes of Zelensky, look at their positioning aspects. They are staying on those defensive halves. Simone Inzaghi is trying to get 10 out of their 10 players inside the box of Milan to happen for that goal. Barella, Martinez loses the possession. A clearance that is a good clearance. When Tomori gets that clearance so good, but Kyle Walker finally getting those shots being taken. Kyle Walker is having a good move here onto the pitch. The man from City to Milan, it is Kyle Walker making his moves felt good. Whereas citizens losing that, it is those moments which Kyle Walker must be enjoying, getting a win over here at Milan with those transfers, and on the other hand, the citizens losing it big time against Mikel Arteta. Man, what is that happening? Barella gives that to Bissac, Dumfries. Simone Inzaghi's man playing with this fluidity, it looks so good at times. I mean, they change their position, they just move so wide onto the pitch. Finally, that is some in corner. That is some corner coming in. Jimenez considering that. Barella going to take that. But look at that. It is Zelensky coming on for those assists onto the corners. Zelensky takes that, but deflection. Mercenaries have got those deflections right at that moment. A huge tactical fight going on. Caraciano, the man, just getting that deflection, but again, that is a corner coming in. Barella going to take it again from the right corners with his right foot. Is he going for those far post? He goes for the midway of the pitch. Man, again, a hit to the woodwork. It is just twice. Inter Milan's goal scoring chances are being blocked. by the goalpost time and again, and they are not getting that clinical good finishings. And look at it, back to back 10 minutes, Inter Milan hitting the woodwork. I mean, the first post to be precise, and they have been denied. They have been denied. And now it is for the Rossoneri's to get those counters. But no, instead, they are relying deep on their defensive aspects. 83 minutes on the watch. That is why the Italian derbies are so lethal to watch. I mean, so close and so happening. Not big win margins for the opponents to have. It is still one goal up on the 83rd minute, and the fight is going on. The Rossoneri's are not giving any chances to happen. The Rossoneri's are not giving any chances to happen. It is Augusto who is trying to make those midfield creativity happening. But no, it is not happening. Look at that replay. It was, man, Thuram gets that. But that wasn't a shot being taken. It was Thuram getting a touch to the ball with his leg, but it touches the first post. Dimarco off to the pitch, Mkhitaryan, Tanolu, as well as powered off Bastoni as well. What is that going to happen in this game is also the watch to have. The Milan derby is definitely looking so good. The Milan derby is looking so good here. And yes, guys, those of you who are watching this stream, do give us those like, share, and subscribe. And this game is definitely going to get those big ones. This game is definitely going to get those big ones. Still one goal up, no chances incoming. But all the time, Inter Milan are just hitting the woodwork, and this is taking the nerves out of this. It is taking the nerves out of it. It is 7 minutes on the watch. Just 2 minutes plus stoppage time left into it. Can Inter get those equalizers? Can Inter get those equalizers? How much of the stoppage time is going to be given away? The referee on the page to talk about it is Daniel Chiffy doing his job so good. And AC Milan are going to get those wins out of here. You can't deny the fact AC Milan are definitely going to get the win out of here. How much of the 5 minutes of the stoppage time being awarded? It is 90 minutes are up and 5 minutes of stoppage time being awarded to this game to end. It is done and dusted, and AC Milan are definitely going to get those big wins. Kyle Walker making those tackles time and again, and he is proving his worth with those transfers being made. Kyle Walker is making his transfer much worth. Look at that. Oh my god. Kamada just gets a shot. But no, it was just wide off the post. Rafael Leon now being substituted. Tammy Abraham, Pulisic all being substituted, and now it is Gabriel Chukwueze coming onto the pitch on the 86th minutes already. But 5 minutes of stoppage time. When is that going to end, guys? 3 minutes of stoppage time still left into it. How is that going to yield? Conceição getting those wins over Simone Inzaghi. The next big thing in the town happening. It is the weekends where red is the color. AC Milan getting those wins. Or it is the likes. And yes, it was Arsenal getting those wins. Red is the color, guys. Red is the color for this weekend for the derby clashes ongoing. Red is the color. Inter are time and like, oh my god, it hits the woodwork again. Oh my god. Oh my god. Inter Milan. It is the likes of Thuram hitting the woodwork again. It is just now the one way over here at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza. It is just the one way ongoing, whereas the likes of Inter, they are trying. Oh my god, again a block. My man has got another block. Oh my god. Is it Mike Magnum? He is really injured or he wants those substitutions to be made? Oh my god. This game is taking the toll. 93 minutes on the watch. Are Inter going to get those goals? Or it is the one way for the Rossoneri's because Inter are making those movements look so good. Inter are making those moves so good. Inter are making those moves so good. Oh my god, it is Stefan De Vrij who has scored. Just look at that. Oh my god, that was a left footer and that goal has been done. This game is going to come to an end. It is 5 minutes of the stoppage time are up. We are on the verge of 94 minutes. 52 seconds. Yes, 95 minutes are up, and the referee on the pitch, Daniel Chiffy, is going to blow the whistle anytime. And this game is going to take an end of this. I mean, if the Milano Derby is going to end like this, or it is the AC Milan who are going to get any more comeback over from here, because Simon Inzaghi's men have got those comebacks late in the stoppage time. That's different. They've getting those opportunities. It was something which you can't deny. And the 6 minutes on the watch. What is that which is going more into man, time and again Inter are making those moves. Time and again Inter are making those moves. I mean, in this game, Inter has made those 17 shots so far. And on the 93rd minute, getting those equalizers. But it is now 96 minutes on the watch. How long is this game going to continue? Daniel Chiefly, when is he going to blow the whistle? Oh my God, this Italian derby is taking a huge toll out of it. Will Inter get any more goals out of it? Oh my God, Inter has got those comebacks. Look at that. Inter are looking lethal over here. Inter are looking lethal over here. Inter are looking lethal over here. Time and again, 96 minutes, 30 seconds to be precise. 1 minute, 30 seconds more into this game. When is Daniel Chiffy going to blow the whistle? Inter has really made those appearances look so good. Inter has made this game look so good. It is the full time over here at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza, and the Milano Derby has ended. Milano Derby has ended, guys. But just have a look of what happened in this game. Oh my God. Milan getting those first goal from Reinders, it was so good, but in that time and again persisting with those attacks, making it. But it was those previous two meetups where Milan has got those wins over Inter in the Super Cup as well as in the first leg of this season Serie A. But now Inter have just got 1 point out of those three games, if you talk about to be precise. Milan winning those Supercoppa Italia with the likes of Sergio Conceição, but in this game, they were not looking that lethal. The Milano Derby ending with Inter Milan and AC Milan getting those draws, 1 point each. And in the table, Inter are so high, they are at the second spot, Napoli on the top, whereas Milan, I mean, this season they are at the 35, 22 games played, 5 losses. Man, that is big. 5 losses they have got, that is big. Atlanta has got 4. Fiorentina has got 4. Lazio has got 7. But the draws which Milan has got is also on the highest stake of 8. That is what the end of the Serie A table. Milan and Inter getting 1 point each with those draws. On the other hand, in the Premier League, this was a disaster. Pep Guardiola found by 4 goals lead. And in the table, to be precise, it is just the likes of Newcastle and City at the same spot with same goal difference. And Chelsea will definitely have to crawl up the table. And if this happens, Manchester City next season, will they be able to play the Champions League or not? And in this season, upcoming is the Champions League match where City are going to face the Los Blancos. I mean, the FA Cup game is between there. City are facing Leon, Orient, and the next is Real Madrid. They will face at the Etihad. That is up from our end. I mean, in this weekend, what a clash we had, and there is nothing left for us to have those moments. It was for all of you guys who had watched this. Leave all those like, share, and subscribe. And yes, at the end of the stream, I would say it is the goal which matters. You have to keep scoring. So keep going. Bye bye, guys. Good night. And the compiled video of what happened this weekend will come up tomorrow morning. Do stay tuned to it and get those playlists of the different leagues across the globe ready on our live stream. Bye bye. Good night.